How do you handle difficult or confused signers without losing your cool? This is important to know because you're oftentimes going to be put into situations where you're going out into the fields and you'll end up running into a signer that's either annoying, difficult. Sometimes they'll be dazed or confused because maybe they're waking up from anesthesia or maybe they're just out of their mind. So, what can you do so that way when you're in a situation like that, you won't lose your cool? Sorry if I'm a little delayed in speaking. I don't know if you guys can see the crutches behind me. I had surgery like 2 days ago, so my legs are in a lot of pain right now. Yeah, but let's get it. Let's get this video out for you guys so you understand. So first thing first, I always say the most obvious thing, which is staying calm and professional. Because when you're in instances like these, and if you haven't been in a situation like this before, you can get a little annoyed or you can get a little bit wary or just like flustered, like, okay, I just wanted to show up to the signing, do my signing, and go home. But it's always important to make sure you stay calm and professional, and not just calm, professional as well. And I mean this in every sense of the word. So this means not showing frustration on your face, not showing you being annoyed, not being snappy towards the customers, towards the clients. It's just staying professional throughout in the entire encounter. And remember that when these people called you out to the location, they called you because they know that they want to hand over the responsibility to someone that knows that what they're doing. So in the instance that you show up to a location and the person does things that you know they're not supposed to do in a signing, it's your job to stay calm and handle it like the professional that you are. So stay calm and professional. I like to always stand there. First things first, after you stay calm and professional, you understand what the situation is. You need to first then listen to all their concerns and then let them voice themselves before you actually respond. So let's say an issue comes up, or or they're just yapping and they're talking to you about a problem, and it doesn't make sense to you. Just try to understand and wrap your head around it. So first thing is just to listen first, because one time, some things that you'll see, let's say you're dealing with a difficult signer, not a confused one, right? Let's use a difficult one, for example. Sometimes you're dealing with a difficult signer, and when they're complaining to you about something, a lot of times it's not the thing that they're complaining to you about that's the problem. It's just emotion that they're feeling right now. So, for example, you'll show up to somebody's house, and you need to do a power of attorney, but they just had an argument with their wife, and now they're just being snappy towards you. So that's why it's important that you listen to what's actually going on to see if, like, is it you messing up within the problem? Is it being the problem, or is it just that they're just frustrated altogether? When you're able to just sit down, listen to their actual concerns, and hear them out, then you'll understand a lot of times it's not really that you're doing anything wrong. It's that they're stressed and now they have to call a notary to come out, and then a notary has to do something. So a lot of times it's not even directed towards you. You just need to understand that as a professional. Next up, you just need to clarify their instructions. If they seem to be doing something that's against what you want, like if they don't want to show IDs, or if they don't want to sign the paper, it's your job to just clarify your instructions. I'll just go ahead and put that down so you guys have that on screen. Clarify the instructions, clarify why you're there. You're there to sign a power of attorney. You're there to let them know that they need two witnesses. You're there to identify authorize their identification, make sure that the identification that they're showing you is correct. You're there to make sure that it's not expired, and you're there to make sure that that ID matches the person. You need clear instructions on what you're there to do, and you need to be able to read it off and tell them that stuff. So in the event that something is going wrong, you can just let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm here to do. This is my job. I'm not here to give you any legal advice. I'm not here to do this, that, and the third. This is my job. And if you can say that with your chest, some bass in your voice, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, whatever, but if you could just say that confidently, then they'll understand, like, oh, this guy, this notary that's shown up is not playing no games. They know what they're supposed to be doing. Very important that you understand that. Next up is to be patient and set boundaries. I'll put that as one. Those are two different ones. So be patient and set boundaries. So what people often tend to do, and this is why I stopped being so like buddy and so friendly at all the appointments. Ooh, sorry guys, my knee is killing me. I can't bend my knee, so I have to like keep it straight, and it's hard when you're sitting in a chair to keep your legs straight. But anyways, what will happen is when you go to these appointments, so what people will tend to do is they'll be super friendly to you, super friendly, buddy buddy, like, oh yeah, when you're here, you're family. But sometimes when they do that, it's so that they can get away with certain things. So they might know on their end, like, I have an ID that's expired, or my passport is expired, or I don't have any forms of identification. So on their end, they're like, okay, let me just be cool with this notary to the point where he'll just be like, oh, that's okay, and then just notarize the document. But you as the notary, you as a professional, need to understand that no matter how cool you are with these people, we love our customers, yes, but no matter how cool you are with them, you don't need to be breaking any rules for them. There's no point in doing it because one, it's illegal, and then two, if poop were to hit the fan, pick up what I'm putting down. If stuff were to hit the fan, you would be looking crazy because they're not going to blame the individual. They're going to blame the notary professional because before you got your commission, you knew what was right. You knew it was illegal. You knew what you weren't supposed to be doing. So you need to go ahead and set your boundaries up front. The best way to do that is to keep the relationship. Excuse me. The best way to do that is to keep the relationship professional and try not to be too friendly. Like, of course, you want to be nice with the clients, you want to be cordial, but not to the point where it's like a friendship. You know what I mean? Because then they'll try to use that to get away with stuff. So set your boundaries just by showing up professional, and clearly reading off what you're there to do and what you're there for. Just remember, like your job there is to kind of like offer guidance, but not legal advice. So when it comes to their documents, and sometimes you don't have to like read their entire document. You're there to like authorize and authenticate. But if they're asking you certain questions that you know have some sort of legal ramification, it's kind of something that you don't want to tread on. We leave those to the lawyers. Like, to be honest, guys, you're here to go to these appointments, you're here to stamp these papers, and you're here to go home. Don't overcomplicate the job. Don't try to be the lawyer that never went to law school. You know what I'm saying? Because in the event that something does happen, something goes left, and you were the one that gave them advice, now you're opening yourself up for litigation. Now they could be like, oh, the notary told me to do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you do that? Your job was to go there, stamp the papers, authenticate their identification, flip that order, my bad, and get your money and go home. Why are you trying to do all that extra stuff? You see what I'm saying? So notaries are trying to like, your job is not to go there and play the role of lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not part-time, we're not part-time lawyers. We're notaries. You know what I'm saying? Just like, we're there to authorize the document, authenticate it, and go home. So don't. Basically, what I'm saying is, don't give it legal advice. It's not your job. Leave that to the lawyers. Leave that to the lawyers. Document every single thing that happens as well. So let's say you're at an appointment, right? And the signer seems a little bit confused, and you decide not to do the document. Like, you decide not to notarize it. In an event like that, you should write that down in your journal. Even though the signing wasn't complete, I document stuff like that inside of the journal just in case they try to do something on their own. You can at least have it somewhere in your notes that, hey, I didn't do this. Or if there were a difficult client, but you did notarize it, you want to write that down too. Because if anyhow it turns out that something happens and they reach out to you, you need to be able to prove, like, hey, I remember this appointment. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to hustle through it. I'm trying to put my knee up. You need to be able to go to that appointment and be like, hey, I remember what happened at this appointment. This, that, and the third happened, and the signer told me this, that, and that, the third. So basically, you want to document everything so you know exactly what's going on in every appointment. Because as you start doing more and more appointments, it's going to be very hard to remember everything. Like, even me, who's been doing it for years, you're not going to remember every signing, especially when a signing becomes difficult and there's a lot of things to do. Then you got your regular life to deal with, and then you got 2 more signings to do. You're not going to remember everything. And that's why I always say, like, you need to have your notary journal, or you need to have some sort of CRM or system to keep track of everything. And these instances are especially important when it comes to like difficult signers, confused signers. You want to make sure to document that stuff. And the last 2 things I would say is to stay neutral and like knowing when to step away. So I'll probably put that as 7 and 8. Stay neutral. So basically, when I say like stay neutral, is let's say that a family is arguing in front of you and they want you to choose sides. Like, hey, do you think we should go ahead and get this notarized, or do you think uh, you don't? I'm not answering those questions because, like I said, if anything happens, you might just think it's simple, but what happens is they'll put that on you because if it's two family members and then a notary and then something goes wrong, you think the family members are gonna blame each other? Maybe, but who's the easy fall guy? It's you, the notary. As a notary, you're the easy fall guy. So why would you give advice? I'm staying neutral in every situation, and if things get to the point where I feel uncomfortable or I'm like I shouldn't be around here right now, I'm stepping away. Because not all money is good money, and you don't. If it's gonna put you to the point where you might have to deal with the litigation, or if it's gonna put you into the realm of I might get in trouble for doing this, or if you just feel uncomfortable, you just gotta know when to step away. Not all money is good money. If you really want, you could charge them a travel fee. But in instances when I'm uncomfortable, I'm just getting out of there. Like keep your money, keep whatever. I'm just getting out. And you got to know when to step away. Money can't always be the end all be all. It can't be everything for you. You know what I mean? Even though we all want it, you got to understand that, like I said, all money's not good money. But hopefully this helped you out, just giving you an example of what to do in difficult situations and how to deal with to confuse signers, difficult signers without losing your cool. Just remember these things, keep them in the back of your mind. Some of this should be self-explanatory, but if there's anything that you do take away from this, definitely remember to document all your stuff. Extremely important. But anyways, guys, if you need any help with one-on-ones, go ahead and jump into the comments below. I opened up a community free of charge. Guys, hop in there. If you get accepted, I'll let you come in the community. You can ask questions. Keep it with everything you need. There's just a community of notaries helping each other out, helping us all to make some more money. So you can jump into that. Or if you want to get that master notary bundle, has even more tools in there that you can actually use in your business, go ahead and get that as well. But anyways, it's been your boy Knowledge. Peace, love. Knowledge is out.